Hi, and welcome to English-Fabule. Are you learning English? Great. Let's learn English with a very interesting story. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Let's get started.
When you walk around Tokyo, Japan's big capital city, you see thousands of cars. The streets are full of many different types of vehicles. Most of these cars come from Japanese companies like Toyota, Honda, and Nissan. You might also see some cars from Europe, such as BMW or Mercedes-Benz, which are often expensive and stylish. But one type of car is almost always missing: American cars. This is a big and interesting puzzle for many people. Think about the car market in the United States. There, cars made by Japanese companies are very popular. Millions of Americans buy Toyotas, Hondas, and other Japanese brands every year. These cars are known for being good and reliable. Japanese companies have a huge part of the car market in the U.S. Now look at Japan. It is one of the world's largest car markets, with millions of cars sold each year. But here, American car brands like Ford and General Motors, GM, are very difficult to find. They sell only a tiny number of cars. It is almost as if American cars do not exist in Japan. For instance, in one recent year, GM sold less than 1,000 cars in all of Japan. Ford tried for many years, but finally stopped selling its cars there in 2017. This big difference makes people wonder: why is the Japanese market closed off, making it unfair for foreign cars to compete? Do they have special rules that make it hard for American companies to sell their vehicles? Or, on the other hand, did American car companies simply make a big mistake? Did they fail to understand what Japanese drivers really want or need in a car? This book will explore these questions to find out why American cars are so rare on Japan's busy roads. 2. Different rules. Many people in America believe Japan uses special rules. They think these rules stop foreign cars from selling easily. These are not high taxes, but other kinds of rules called non-tariff barriers. For example, Japan has a complex process to check new cars. It also has safety standards that are different from other countries. An American car company needs to test its cars carefully to meet Japan's unique rules. This can take months and cost a lot of money. One example is car headlights. Japan has its own rules for how headlights shine. So, American car companies must often change their car designs just for the Japanese market. This makes it hard and expensive for them to sell cars there. But if these rules were truly unfair, other foreign car companies would also struggle. This is not the case. Luxury brands like Mercedes-Benz and BMW sell many cars in Japan. Mercedes-Benz sold over 53,000 cars and BMW 35,000. These numbers show they are successful. These European companies worked hard to understand Japan's market. They invested money to meet the local standards. They also built good networks for selling and servicing their cars. This proves that foreign companies can succeed if they adapt. Also, the argument that Japan's rules are just to protect its own car companies is not always true. Many rules are there for good reasons. Japan is a small country with many people. Its cities have very narrow streets and small parking spaces. So, people need small cars. Japan has special rules for very tiny cars called K cars. These rules limit the size and engine of a car. They encourage car makers to build vehicles that fit Japan's crowded spaces. A big American car, like a large pickup truck, often cannot even drive on many residential streets in Japan. So, these rules help make sure cars fit the country's actual needs, not just to keep American cars out. The problem might be that American companies did not try hard enough to build cars for these different rules and needs. 3. Two different roads. After World War II, the car industries in America and Japan took very different paths. In America, the car industry was the strongest in the world. Detroit's factories had built many vehicles for the war, and now they made big, powerful cars for everyone. Companies like Ford, General Motors, and Chrysler were very rich. Their cars, like the Cadillac Eldorado, were symbols of American success and a good life. For many people, especially in Japan during the 1950s and 1960s, American cars were like a dream, showing what Japan wanted to become. These cars were large, comfortable, and used a lot of gasoline. Japan's car industry, however, was almost completely destroyed by the war. There were very few car factories left, and the cars they made were often simple and not very good. But the Japanese government had a clear plan for the future. They wanted to rebuild their industry with a special focus. They decided to make small, fuel-efficient, and reliable cars. This was a smart decision for Japan because it has small roads and less space. Japanese companies focused on making cars that were practical, high quality, and good for everyday use, instead of just being big and powerful. Then, in the 1970s, a big event changed the world: the oil crisis. In October of 1973, oil prices went up very quickly. Gasoline became very expensive, and it was often hard to find at gas stations. Suddenly, people everywhere wanted cars that used much less fuel. The large, gas-guzzling American cars that were so popular before did not make sense for many people anymore. American car companies were not ready for this big change. For decades, they had made their cars for a country with cheap gasoline and wide roads. It was hard for them to change their plans and designs quickly. They tried to make smaller versions of their existing cars, but often they were not very good. But Japanese car companies were perfectly ready for this new situation. They had already spent years learning how to build small, efficient cars. Models like the Honda Civic, which could get 35 miles per gallon, and the Toyota Corolla offered great fuel efficiency and were known for being reliable. Because of the oil crisis, more and more people started to buy these smaller, more efficient Japanese cars. This big event showed the world the different roads the two countries' car industries had taken. 4. A bad name. American car companies started to get a bad name for their quality. This problem began mostly in the 1970s, a difficult time for the American auto industry. Many American cars then were not made well. They often broke down, and people could not trust them. It seemed companies focused on making cars cheaply rather than on lasting quality. One clear example was the Chevrolet Vega, released in 1971. It was designed to be a small, affordable car. But the Vega had many serious problems soon after purchase. Its engine broke easily, and the car's body rusted very fast, often within a few years. Many said it was one of the worst cars ever sold due to its frequent issues. Another problematic car from this era was the Ford Pinto. It became famous for a dangerous design flaw. Its gas tank could easily catch fire in a rear-end crash. These smaller American cars were often seen as poorly built, noisy, and highly unreliable. At the same time, Japanese car companies took a different approach. They focused strongly on making cars that were not just small and fuel efficient, but also incredibly well made. Japanese cars quickly became known for their excellent, consistent quality. They started reliably, ran smoothly for many miles, and needed much less repair. Brands like Honda and Toyota invested in continuous improvement and customer satisfaction, building a strong reputation for reliable vehicles. This sharp contrast deeply hurt American car companies. Many customers worldwide began to see American cars as large, inefficient, and very unreliable. This negative idea or stereotype about American cars started in the 1970s and was very hard to change. It was a bad name that stuck, affecting how people thought about American vehicles for decades. Even today, this historical reputation makes it hard for American cars to sell well in global markets, including Japan, where reliability is highly valued. 5. A car for Japan. Japan is a country with many people but not much flat land. Because of this, its cities have very small streets. Imagine driving in Tokyo. Most streets where people live are only 4 meters wide. This is very narrow. A popular American truck, like the Ford F-150, is almost 2 meters wide without its mirrors. With mirrors, it is even wider. Such a big truck simply cannot fit on many Japanese roads. Parking spaces are also small, usually 5 meters long and 2.5 meters wide. Many buildings even have special lifts for cars, which means cars must be very small to fit inside. Big American cars are often too large for these lifts or spaces. Because of these tight spaces, a special type of car is very popular in Japan. These are called K cars. They are tiny, no longer than 3.4 meters and no wider than 1.48 meters. Their engines are also very small, usually less than 660 cc. Many Japanese people buy K cars because they are perfect for daily city life. They are easy to park and drive on narrow streets. In 2024, almost 40% of all new cars sold in Japan were K cars. American car companies, however, do not make cars this small or designed for these specific needs. Beyond the physical fit, it also costs a lot more money to own a big car in Japan. The government has special taxes on cars, including buying taxes and yearly road taxes. These taxes get much higher for bigger cars and cars with bigger engines. So, a large American car costs much more money each year just for these taxes and mandatory insurance. This makes them a very expensive choice. Gasoline prices are another important factor. In Japan, gasoline costs about $4.50 per gallon. This is nearly double the price in America. Big American cars often use a lot of gas, sometimes getting only 15 miles per gallon in the city. This means very high fuel bills for Japanese drivers. A small K car, which might get 35 miles per gallon, costs much less to fuel. Japanese buyers think about the total cost of owning a car, including how much it costs to buy, drive, park, and pay taxes. For most, a big, inefficient American car is not a smart financial choice. This clear difference in needs and costs shows why American cars struggle to find buyers in Japan. 6. A different way to buy. In Japan, buying a car involves a very special culture. It is not just about picking a vehicle. It is about the whole experience. This culture is called omotenashi, meaning excellent hospitality. This idea is very important in the Japanese car market. Customers expect exceptional service from car dealers. They look for a strong, long-term relationship with the dealer, far beyond the initial purchase. Unlike in many other countries, people in Japan often do not buy a car directly from a sales lot. Instead, they prefer to order their new car with many specific features. They can choose everything from the exact paint color and interior fabrics to specific technical options. This detailed ordering process might take several weeks or even a few months, but it ensures the customer receives a vehicle perfectly tailored to their individual needs and wishes. The relationship between the customer and the dealership continues long after the car is sold. Dealerships provide regular reminders for car maintenance. They often offer to pick up the customer's car from their home or office for servicing, then return it. This level of personal care builds trust and makes customers feel very valued by the brand. American car companies, unfortunately, did not adopt this unique cultural approach. They tried to sell cars in a more Western style, focusing on available stock and quick sales. They never built the large dealer networks necessary to offer widespread service and support. Their customer service model did not focus on building long-lasting relationships or providing the extensive customization that Japanese buyers expected. Because American companies did not adapt, they found it hard to compete. Japanese customers did not find the omotenashi experience they expected from American brands. Instead, they chose Japanese or European luxury brands, such as Mercedes-Benz, which invested heavily in local dealerships and service to meet these high standards. This difference in understanding the buying culture was a major reason why American car sales remained so low in Japan. 7. One success, one failure. American car companies in Japan show two very different stories, one success, one failure. Jeep, an American brand, found a way to sell cars. This is surprising. Jeeps are big and use much fuel. They are hard to drive and park on Japan's narrow streets. Also, Jeeps are not cheap. Still, Jeep sold about 9,600 vehicles in Japan in 2024. This number has nearly doubled in 10 years. Jeep understood a special kind of customer. These buyers did not want small, practical cars. They wanted something else. Jeep sells a feeling, freedom, and adventure. For many Japanese, especially young city people, a Jeep means escape. Its strong look and unique design attract those wanting to show style. These buyers often have other cars too. Jeep also built good dealerships and offered the strong service Japanese customers expect. They used local ads to show outdoor life. Ford, another large American car company, had a different story. It completely failed. Ford left Japan in 2017 after many years of trying. The company never invested in learning about Japanese customers. Ford tried to sell cars made for other countries. For example, the Ford Focus was smaller than most American Fords. But it was still too big for Japan's roads and parking. Its fuel use was also not good. Ford offered customers few choices to change their cars. It also did not build a strong dealer network or offer the high service Japanese people expected. Ford sold very few cars each year, sometimes less than 5,000 vehicles. Ford did not learn from other successful foreign car companies. It kept selling cars that were not right for the market. The stories of Jeep and Ford highlight two paths. Jeep succeeded by selling a dream to specific buyers. Ford failed because it ignored the local market and did not adapt. 8. The future. We have learned much about why American cars have not succeeded in Japan. The final answer is clear. It was not mainly because Japan had unfair trade rules. Instead, the main reasons were mistakes and a lack of understanding from American car companies. They often thought their way of doing things, like making big cars, was best for all markets. This showed a kind of arrogance. They did not change their cars or business plans enough for Japan's unique needs. For example, American cars were often too large for Japan's narrow streets and small parking spaces. They also used a lot of gasoline, which is very expensive there. American companies did not build the strong dealer networks or provide the special customer service that Japanese buyers expect. Now, the world of cars is changing very fast. We are moving into an age of electric cars. This new time might be a second chance for American car makers in Japan. Electric cars do not use gasoline, which removes one big issue for larger American cars. They also bring new technologies and fresh designs that can be exciting for buyers. One American electric car company, Tesla, has shown some early success in Japan. Its cars are known for new technology and modern design. Japanese buyers sometimes like new and different things, especially in technology. Tesla has managed to sell more cars in Japan recently, but its sales are still small compared to big Japanese brands. However, Japanese car companies are not standing still. They are also moving quickly into making their own electric vehicles. These companies have many years of experience making reliable and efficient cars, including hybrid cars. They know what Japanese drivers want, such as smaller sizes and excellent customer service. So, the competition in the electric car market will still be very strong for American brands in Japan. The experience of American cars in Japan shows a bigger problem for American car companies globally. It highlights that they need to truly understand and adapt to different markets and cultures. They cannot expect every country to want the same cars or buying experience as in America. If they do not learn from these past mistakes, they might keep struggling in other global markets too. What do you think? Will American car companies change for the electric car age and find new success in challenging markets like Japan? Or will they continue to be mostly unseen in many parts of the world?
Hey there! Just a second before you go. If you learned something new today, please give this video a like, write your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second, and it really, really helps to create even better English videos for you. Your support means the world. Thank you.